What's up, guys? It's me again, Christian Rodriguez, and today I'm going to talk about 5 things that are killing your fitness, right? And I'm going to start it from the jump. So, the first thing that's killing your fitness is living a sedentary lifestyle, right? Get the fuck up. Just get up. I hope YouTube doesn't punish me for cursing, but just get up. Leave leave the house. Do something physically active, right? If you think about like modern culture, modern day life, you're sitting all day, right? You're sleeping 8 hours a day. You wake up, right? Maybe you sit down, have breakfast or a coffee, right? Or you scroll your phone and you go through social media. And then what? Then you go straight to work. You either drive to work. Most people, especially if you're in the US, you likely drive to work where you're sitting in a car again for however long your commute is, right? Then you're back in the office and you're sitting down for 8 hours a day. Then you drive back home, sitting in the car again. Then you get home, and likely most people will probably go back home, crack open a beer, watch the baseball game or whatever, right? Netflix, TV show, reality TV, whatever you guys watch. That's usually the case. And it's like compound interest. This shit adds up, and it's going to add up and not in a way that's favorable to you, right? What I highly recommend you do is there's this book called Get Up. I forgot the name of the author. I'm going to post it right here so you can see it. But yeah, the book Get Up, highly recommend you read it. He basically talks about how modern human lifestyles is actually messing with people's health and that we're animals and we need to physical activity is part of our DNA. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're not made to be sitting down all day. That's basically the premise of the book. Highly recommend you read it if you're interested in it and go from there. Now, the second thing that you need to stop doing, you need to just completely get rid of, and that's eating shit food. Yes, eating shit food. Stop eating freaking just chips in the house. Stop buying cookies, right? Stop keeping like bad food in the house, right? And someone's might come through and argue with me and tell me, yeah, but as long as you're in a caloric deficit, then it doesn't matter. And I agree. Yes, you could still get shredded, look good if you're in a caloric deficit, if you're tracking your macros, which most people don't do. But even then, the foods aren't really good for you. They increase estrogen. If you eat a ton of McDonald's, they have like a bunch of preservatives and they have a ton of stuff in it that's not good for you to begin with, and it just increases the estrogen in your body. It also kills your energy. Like I don't know, when I eat those types of foods, like fast foods, I don't feel too great. Like I feel sluggish. I don't feel like I don't want to go to work. I don't feel like I could go go do something very active. Like it just doesn't feel great. It doesn't sit well in my stomach. And that's a sign that the food is really not good for you. So just be very aware of that. And I don't think you should be eating that stuff, if we're going to be completely honest, right? So yeah, just be very mindful of it too, because someone might like people may say, let's go have coffee, right? For me, when I say get coffee, I'm thinking, oh, let's drink a black coffee, talk and discuss whatever. When most people say coffee, they say let's put sugar, milk, cream, or a venti, which is a large caramel frappuccino from Starbucks, which is basically liquid candy. It's liquid dessert. That's what it is, right? Stuff like that. Bagels, donuts for breakfast, pancakes. All of it is just terrible for you, right? And sugar just spikes your glucose up, and it's going to lead you to just crash. So I would get rid of that stuff, right? And the third thing that's killing your fitness, right? And I made a video on this pretty recently, but it's alcohol, right? Kind of with along with shit food, drugs and alcohol. I'm gonna pair them together. Drugs and alcohol screw everything up. If you could, along with shit food, right? It kills your energy, but in a different way. First of all, if you're drinking alcohol, right? Say you go out, you have the habit, because usually along with alcohol, it's with going out. First of all, you're drinking a bunch of empty calories. You're literally like, if you're drinking beer, you're basically drinking a loaf of bread. And if you are having like those sugary cocktails, you're basically having like some dessert, right, with some alcohol in it. So it's a double whammy. And that stuff is just not good for you. It adds up, it gets to the face, it destroys your skin. It makes you age faster as well. Obviously, this is the fitness focus of it, but it makes you age 10 times faster with just drinking alcohol. And how are you supposed to chase excellence, chase any sort of success if you're hungover the next day? Or go to the gym. How are you supposed to go to the gym if you're hungover? I know some people do it. I don't know how the hell they do it. I don't do it. That's a reason why I don't drink, because it's pointless. It's almost like sure, you could still do whatever you usually do, but you're not going to do it at the best you can do it, because it's not optimal. Like, it's not going to make you perform better. So what's the point, right? And I would say, yeah, and drugs as well, before I get to the next point. For drugs as well, like marijuana, for example. I know a lot of people smoke weed and they'll, train jujitsu, or they'll go to the gym and lift weights. And I know people talk about the benefits of smoking weed and blah blah blah. I don't buy it. I really don't buy it, because with weed, first of all, it slows you down. It slows you down. It kind of kills your coordination, right? It's scientifically proven to kill your coordination. That's the first thing. The second thing is, now you're mentally slower, right? Because you're under the influence of something, right? So how is that supposed to make you perform better at the gym? It doesn't. I personally do not think it does. I think people just like doing it and they have an excuse to do it. Second of all, like, what kind of message are you like giving out to the world by just being, I don't know, just being high, like being that guy who's smoking all the time, right? I'm okay. Like, I'm not gonna shit on people who smoke. I'm saying, if you're doing it, if you're that guy who's always like getting high at the gym and and you reek of marijuana, like, what type of message are you bringing out to people? I don't know. That type of stuff I'm not really the biggest fan of. I know a lot of people do it, so I might strike some nerves on some people watching this video, but it's the truth. That's personally what I think about it. And I would say the fourth thing is just overthinking, right? And what I mean by overthinking, like many people who never really do fitness, who, you know, like, they may see me, and they, like, some people may see me and they see that I've done combat sports, or I'll go to the gym and I'll do a full body split. I'll do Zerker squats, or I'll do a hit workout, right? If I can't do anything. Now I live in an apartment, so it's probably a little bit more difficult, but I'll still like do calisthenics. I'll do body weight stuff. Some people get intimidated. They think, oh shoot, Christian's doing this, he's doing that, and that looks difficult. That it looks very uninspiring for me. Like, that looks something that's out of my level. I'm not going to be able to do that. And it's kind of like overthinking it, because now you're putting doubt in your head, and you're probably not going to go to the gym. You're probably not going to do anything, because you just made it, now psychologically it's very difficult. What I recommend you do to solve this issue is by starting with what you're comfortable with. Start with something basic, even if it's long walks during the day, right? You have a scheduled walk. Especially here in Chicago, the weather is getting nice out. It's spring. So just go on a walk. Go put on your headphones, listen to an audiobook, right? And just go on a long walk outside. Go walk for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Come back. You'll probably be sweating, especially if you don't really do it often. And that's something as simple as you can do. If you enjoy playing tennis, then that could be something you do. That's the point of what I'm talking about, is that you just need to start with something that you're comfortable with. You don't need to do what everyone else is doing, right? If there's a Mr. Olympia who's eating 4,000 calories a day, and he's lifting extremely heavy weights, doesn't mean you have to be the next Mr. Olympia if you don't want to be. You don't have to feel entitled. You don't have to feel like you have to be Mr. Olympia to be fit, right? Just like you also don't have to be an MMA fighter full of cauliflower ear to and a crooked nose to be physically fit. Just do what's right for you. Do something that you prefer, and that's the easiest way to sticking with it, right? Because for me, right, I the reason why I like doing Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu, mainly Muay Thai and boxing. I prefer striking. But the main reason why I do those is because first of all, it's cardio, but it's like fun cardio. Like I hate cardio, but because I do those, I'm not even thinking of it as cardio. I'm thinking of it almost like a competition, like a fun sports, right? And I burn a ton of calories doing it. And I find it easier to stick with than if I was forcing myself to go on the treadmill every day, which is what I hate doing. I hate going on the treadmill. I don't like the Stairmaster. I don't like those elliptical machines. I'd rather just do Muay Thai or jump rope. Those are my forms of cardio that I prefer. Or walking. That's probably my favorite one, to be honest. Walking is actually a very great form of cardio. And I would say for the fifth thing destroying your fitness is mainly being inconsistent. And what do I mean by that? Say the first week, right? New Year's hits. This usually happens in New Year's. You go to the gym. You're in shape. You have fitness. You want to get fit. That's your goal. You want to get in really good shape the following year, right? New year, new me. Typical stuff. You sign up to a gym, right? You go to the gym for the first week. You feel great, right? Then the second week comes along, right? And last week you went 5 days a week, which is great. That was your goal, right? Your goal is to go 5 days a week. The second week comes along. Then you see you're like, I would go, but the NFL wildcard game is on. And I don't really want to miss that, right? Like my favorite team is playing and I don't want to miss the Seahawks playing. So I'm gonna go tonight. I'm gonna skip, but I'll go tomorrow. No worries, right? So you just skip Monday, right? And then maybe the following week something else comes up Monday, and you're like, oh, I'll skip, right? I'm tired. I feel like I earned it, so I'll just skip that day, right? And then maybe on a Tuesday, right? You're like, I don't really feel like going. It's like, I'll just go tomorrow because I worked hard last week. So you only go to the gym like 3 days a week, right? When you originally intended to go five, and then you start slowly like realizing how much better and more comfortable it is to skip the gym. So you just stop going. You stop going entirely because you realize how much more fun it is to stay home and play video games or to watch the games, right? It's more enjoyable and it makes sense. And the gym is more of like a chore, more like a punishment. So you're not consistent and then you end up most people just end up quitting, right? Because it's easy to start going to the gym. I think the worst advice that people could give you is when they tell you to start. I don't think like starting, yes, it's great, but I don't think starting is the best advice. I think remaining consistent is really better advice than just starting because anyone could start, but how about when it's boring? How about when it's rainy outside and cold and you don't want to go outside or you don't want to go to the gym and you'd rather sit on your warm, comfortable couch watching um binge watching a show on Netflix. Like of course, you're going to choose the show over going to the gym. And yeah, you got to focus on just getting yourself to the gym. You just got to like make it a priority, right? And once it's a priority, it's going to be a non-negotiable for you. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for listening. I'm going to keep creating more content. Subscribe and take care.